everyone. It is Newsflash Fri-yay, and here we are. We are streaming from both channels, so if you don't see all the comments, that's why. But Kim, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Yay. And you had some time on the other side of the pond.
I did. Yeah, about 2 months, and it was great. It was great seeing Cassie and stuff, and it was, I think it was a little long for me just living out of a suitcase that long, but it was a good time. We had a really good time. I froze the whole time. I was happy to get back to the sun, but it's a cold place.
It is cold, and I you know what the difference there is, it's you have the cold and the dampness that gets your bones.
Yeah, and she lives on the coast, so it's very windy, or it can be very windy. So it's that chilly, to the bone kind of cold. It doesn't set well with the native Californians, though.
So, yeah, we were there at the same time for a little bit, but a little bit at distance. I was near London, more closer to London than you were, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of, did you see his new portrait?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, so it's very red. It's definitely a modern take on the portraits that they do there, I think. But people are really kind of they're really taking stabs at it because and all the memes out there. I'm surprised you haven't seen. Well, no, because you've been out in your yard. So
yeah. Interesting. Okay. Did he pick the artist, or was it just the artist?
I don't know, you guys. I think the family will know, but I think it was like 3 years or something.
Okay.
And so let's see. Let's see if I can find that portrait. Images. Here we go. So here you have the portrait.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
People are feeling that it's like really red.
Okay. I'd say that's true.
Yeah, interesting, because you also have that butterfly right there in it. You probably couldn't see it because I'm trying to show you on here, but there's a butterfly right on his shoulder, and representing transformation. And so I'm wondering if the artist kind of took some liberty here as far as showing this transformation and transition, and with the red and like that. I don't know.
Right. So people are asking, how does he feel about it?
Yeah. So how does King Charles feel about this?
I feel like at first it's like shock, like not what I expected, or not expecting it, not at all expecting. I feel like there's something about it he feels is not manly or masculine or something. I feel like there's something about wanting to be more like manly or masculine, kind of in line. I'm seeing like other kings' portraits, like showing them as being very like strong, and I feel like he feels like it doesn't show that. And I feel like it won't go down as one of the best portraits. It won't go down as one of the most accurate portraits. It'll be kind of, he feels like kind of like, it's almost like he feels like it'll be dated at some point, like it's of its time. It's like it's taking liberties for the times we're in, and he feels like it's not going to hold up, basically. At some point will seem like it's dated. So that's what I've got. I don't feel like he hates it or anything, but I feel like it's not what he expected and not really what he thought was in line with the other portraits that are in the halls.
Oh, I don't think it's anything like those other portraits. And there was Sue Ellen said, intense emotional content. The monarch butterfly is a pun, she feels.
Oh, okay.
Composition emphasizes his humanity, not his role. Interesting. Okay. So I felt like you. I feel like, oh, okay, but didn't not like it, just very different, and thought this is an artist rendition or whatever, trying to support the uniqueness of the art because it is different than the other ones. But the response to it has brought him a little bit of kind of and kind of pulling out some of these other energies of like what you're saying, that like the disappointment and maybe not showing him the way he feels he should be shown. So I do have a little bit of that playing out here in the card. So here he is receiving the painting. Oh, okay, blah, blah, it's okay, whatever. But then you have this going on now from the response with that Nine of Swords and Four of Cups. But I do feel like it's going to he's just kind of going to let it play out.
Yeah.
And, it'll smooth itself out. But
yeah, I feel that too.
But yeah, he's like, it didn't show me like I wanted to be seen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And with everybody's feedback, it makes it even worse, kind of like.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, they're, for as much as they're in the public eye and have public scrutiny, they're all kind of a sensitive bunch when it comes to the public and what they think. They're very, and it's, they're a monarchy, right? They can be toppled, let go at any point. So I think the public, has always been kind of important to them, what the public thinks of them. So they're kind of sensitive in that way. So, but yeah, I feel like you, that it, his feelings became more unhappy or whatever when other people started to react to it. Because I think for him, like you said, it just was kind of like, oh, this is different. Okay. Doesn't look like any of the other paintings. It's going to be stand out, it's going to be different, but it may be a little bit dated at some point. The other ones are more traditional. So it may kind of be at some point, but yeah.
And I do feel he kind of liked the edginess of it, that to be a little bit, but anyway, he's going through the emotions. All right. Well, thank you for that question, you guys. And I guess we'll just dive into the list of questions we have here. I did meet with my members today, and there were some questions that came in during our group for tonight.
All right.
And so we'll start with those. Now it'll say Ness, you guys, it'll say Ness every time, but it wasn't all her questions. It was other people. She was just kind enough to get on and do this for me because I'd still be trying to type it all in. So thank you, Ness, for doing that. All right. So question 1, on the hush money trial, will Trump be found guilty? Will he appeal? Will the sentencing be before or after the election? what will the sentencing look like? So it's kind of like, just in regard to the trial going on right now, I didn't get a chance. I didn't see your last week's Thursday Live, so I don't know if you looked at this question already.
I don't remember. I'm sure we did. Around like January or February, I was reading, and then like all of a sudden I just got Trump's going to be convicted of something in the summer. And I was like, but nothing was happening yet. So I'm like, what is this? Which trial is it? I don't know. I couldn't really give anything else, but you know, jurors have free will. They have their own minds. This jury they've kind of messed with the pieces a little bit, so it can be different. But I felt like he would be found guilty. I felt like he would appeal. I felt like he'd lose the appeal. I felt like the sentencing would be put in place, but will take place after the election. And I felt like it might be more of like unfortunately, because I hate when they do this, but I feel like it might be more of like a home confinement or something like that. Yeah, that's what I got. And I think they might point to, well, it's complicated with the Secret Service or whatever. But I feel like if you're a convicted felon, though, you should probably lose your perks of being president, you know?
Yeah. I also see that he will be found. I've always seen him being found guilty in this one. As far as the, and then he will appeal. But as far as looking at the sentencing before or after the election, it feels, he definitely is, being convicted. I also feel, well, here he is convicted.
Yeah.
You know, it's very frustrating. I do, but I think there is I do feel some sort of pause here with the sentencing. I mean the sentencing after. So I feel like maybe there is a pause there. Another thing too is I felt a little push in the jury, and I've always felt there was someone on the jury that was kind of pushing back. You know what I mean? Not just being kind of truthful in the evidence and so forth, or whatever.
Right.
Evidence kind of being I don't know, for entertainment purposes only. I don't have a word for it except like mole.
Right.
And I always felt it was a woman. So today, in members, I shuffle these cards, kept shuffling, and then I you know, is this a man or a woman? Show me if it's a man or a woman. And this card came up. So it kind of backed up what I had thought, that it was a woman.
Right.
Kind of doing a little pushback in there. It's not going to, it may cause, you know, a little rumbling in there, but it's not going to be a hung jury or anything like that.
I didn't feel that either. I felt like, there's always, like I said, this is like, right, they have free will. They have free will. They do have free will, but I feel like, and I feel like even I keep seeing the checks and like stuff on paper. And so I feel like the jury's like, that's what they're focusing on, is the stuff that's actually on paper. That's right.
That's,
right.
yeah, that's
not really the people so much that they brought in, but the stuff that's actually physical. I feel like that's going to kind of that makes a big difference, you know.
All right. Well, thank you. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I do kind of want to, well, this question is here from Zach. A few people asked this question, so we might as well look at it now, and then we'll go back to the list. Zach. Hi, Zach. Will Justice Alito resign, be removed from the bench? Newest scandal, he inverted the U.S. flag in his home last January 6th. What a disgrace. Yeah, so that's coming out now. Pictures of his flag in his yard being upside down. And he is blaming his wife for that. He's not taking responsibility.
Of course.
And
take responsibility.
Yeah. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, all that to, even if it, so is there a little wives club, you know, between, you know what I mean? Are they all like
Insurrectionist wives club?
and election was stolen. For him to have, he would have had knowledge that his flag was inverted in his yard and what that would represent. Yeah, what took so long for it to come out? That's an interesting question as well. But I find it all very odd. And for him to just say, oh, well, that was my wife, that doesn't really count, does it?
No.
Now you're just throwing your wife under the bus for investing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like this whole underground network. So do you get anything on this?
I think that Debsy has it right. He
didn't care.
He doesn't care. And one thing that always comes to me, which is, he sounds like a mean man, you know, kind of he just has kind of a mean spirit or something, but not evil, just mean, just mean-spirited. But he also comes across as very lazy to me. His ideas are lazy. His references are lazy. His viewpoints are lazy. It's like everything's very lazy. So that's like the thing that always comes to me with him in particular.
Privilege.
Yes, yeah. There's a real compliance kind of laziness to it that just doesn't. And I think it goes into the doesn't care, because it would take energy to care. And he doesn't have that. He's just, yeah, agreed. Lazy and arrogant. Thank you, Catherine. Yeah. Very just kind of, yeah. Like how they used to talk about fat cats, you know, that's what he is. He's a fat cat. He wants to sit on his groceries and do nothing and just spout nonsense and stay where he is. And it would be great if they would get rid of him, but I don't, for whatever reason. And I think we're learning this the hard way. The Supreme Court right now is untouchable. It will not last. This court is putting an end to that. It will change. But right now we're in the thick of it. And I don't think it's going to change now, but it will change. So I don't want people to think this doesn't make a difference. No, this all makes a difference. And it's like piling brick upon brick upon brick. It's just because of it's the Supreme Court, it's going to take a lot of bricks, but it will happen.
And I agree fully with everything you just said. And especially that this, as it is now, is shifting. It is not going to be like this. He absolutely knew about this. This is something he did. He was part of the team who did this in his yard. So he absolutely knew about it. And so maybe his wife was in on it as well, but he absolutely was part of that decision. So
I totally agree with you.
Talking about that. with the Eight of Swords, King of Wands, and then the collaboration card of Three of Pentacles. So yeah. All right. And again, I agree that it won't, it's not going to touch him. He won't resign or anything like that. He doesn't. He's like, whatever.
They have no shame. You know, if they were capable of shame, they might care and they might resign or something like that, but they don't. They have no shame.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any sense of that. So
mm-hmm.
That ship has sailed.
Yeah.
You know. And they're also, I mean, to put a spiritual bent on this though, they're unconscious. They're unconscious beings, right? They're not enlightened beings. They're kind of low level, very earthbound, earthly.
That's what I call them, earthbound.
Yeah. Earthbound, earthly, you know, unconscious beings. And so in a way, you know, they can't act beyond their consciousness. This is where they are. This is the things that are important to them are the things that are important to them.
Mm-hmm.
They can't see beyond that. And maybe something will happen or things will happen that will help them change that view. But that is the reality. Yeah.
100%. All right. So actually the other question was about Alito, in as far as the list of questions Ness put in here for us. But will the Supreme Court decision on the immunity case be announced in May or June? So since we're here in the Supreme Court, let's look at this.
It's weird because I feel like for some reason I'm seeing like converging of like the jury coming back and the Supreme Court decision. It's like they converge or they meet somehow. So I feel like they might be around the same time. And so I feel like it might be that end of May, I would say. Maybe beginning of June. I think it's the end of May. But it seems like it's like they converge or they could even be the same week or the same day or something. But I feel like they're on top of each other for some reason.
And absolutely purposed, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe that's why.
Definitely taking their time. When I stepped into the energy, I just felt, I can't imagine being a part of this a part of this court right now if I was one of the higher minded folks in the court right now, because of the games that they have to play.
Right.
There's a lot of betrayal and dishonesty going on behind the scenes that they have to navigate through to try to, you know, keep it, you know what I mean, in the lane, so to speak. I don't have words for what I'm seeing, but it is it is creepy.
I think that's a perfect word, actually, Debbie, is creepy. And they are a corrupt court, right? It's corrupt. Mm-hmm. And I think that the corruption comes from somewhere, somebody, and I think that's the creepy factor. It's like, because I feel like it's people that, like you just said, really don't play the game fair, aren't looking to be fair about this or have great arguments or have like, it's very base, low level, bargain basement Supreme Court. It's not, in some ways, it's not worth anything, you know, and I think you're right. I think people that are on it that do have the best intentions are really suffering right now and really also having a hard time keeping their mouth shut too. I feel like there's some feelings of like I want to scream from the rooftops.
Yeah.
But they're kind of bound by this tradition or whatever. I don't know why they are if the other side isn't, but they are, you know, whatever. But yeah. And Deb is saying, you know, dark money and corruption. That stuff is creepy. It's creepy because it comes from very dark places, you know.
I do feel that, that, you know, sooner than later that this will be announced. So possibly the end of May, for sure this summer. I'm hearing summer. So whatever summer is, so May, June, that decision, I do feel.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of anger around it. I'm trying to drill in on who's angry because I don't know if it's just like Trump is furious or who's angry, but I feel like there's going to be some anger around this decision. Maybe because it's not cut and dry enough, like it leaves room for whatever, you know. So I think maybe it's kind of loose or something, and so I'm not sure what I'm picking up on, Debbie, but it's something. There's some anger around this decision. So.
Oh, yeah. When you say that and I take a look, yes, I feel it too. I think it's more than one person. I feel like it's like these MAGA GOP people who are really depending on this immunity. There's other people because they show people like, and it could be metaphor, but they show Marjorie, MTG, and you know those type of people that will create a chaos type feel.
Mm-hmm.
With that anger piece.
That sounds extremely correct. In line.
It's like I saw a meme the other day, and you know, everybody's dressed in clown suits, and I'm like, that's exactly what is happening. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. I am watching Old Passwords from 1979, and I just want to tell you that one of the things that I thought yesterday was, I hope that because this will be behind us at some point, it really, really will, that I hope we can go back to at least in our government, kind of a more respectful public discourse. I understand why the Democrats are fighting fire with fire and, you know, doing the same stuff. But I hope I think that is one of the saddest and most damaging things that Trump and his people have done is really pull us all down into the gutter. Mm-hmm. And I hope there is a way we can maybe not go back, but maybe go forward in a way that is just like, that stuff doesn't work. And it's also, it makes the country look bad. And I know there's a lot of people with Russia and stuff, so they want to make the country look bad and they want to make democracy look all chaotic and crazy. But I hope, that's one of my hopes. And one thing I'm manifesting is that one day we can in that 1979 password, I keep screaming at the screen, do not elect Ronald Reagan. He's going to screw everything up.
If we could change that one thing in history, what would we be like today?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do it. That's where it all begins. Anyway, but they can't hear me.
You can't even call the station.
No, I can't.
All right. There was something I wanted to say about what you're saying, but now it's gone. All right. Anyway, back to the questions. How do you see Trump's health playing out in the months before the election? You know, my sense is it's getting trickier and trickier for his team as far in regard to his 45's health, entertainment purposes only, to keep his challenges from being so evident. This also affects decisions like doing the debates and stuff like that.
Say that again, Debbie. Sorry,
It affects the decisions on him doing. They're showing not wanting to do the debates and things like that because of this. Some of his health concerns that become more evident, I guess, when he certain times of day. Maybe would it be what's that when you sundowners? I do see there's lots of layers to his health here that are posing challenges, but one that they're showing is this similar to sundowners, where you're just when you're not thinking clearly at night, start to say crazy things.
I'm just checking something because I got something, but I just want to make sure. I'm just going to ask if I'm getting it right. So, okay, so I'm getting a soft yes, like a maybe from my, I'm getting something around his health at the end, I want to say the end of July, beginning of August or something. For entertainment purposes only, I feel like it's like a stroke-like episode. I feel like there's like his brain and his heart are involved. So it may start as like we think it's his heart, but it ends up being, and it's weird because I don't feel like it incapacitates. So I think it's maybe a smaller episode, but it's concerning. And I just heard hush, hush. So I feel like everything will be kind of in the dark or in secret or trying to keep it quiet. But if I'm getting it, it clearly comes out at some point, or it comes out in some way. You can't, if he's, a businessman, and this happens, he could keep it quiet. Running for president, not so much. You can't really keep this kind of stuff in the dark for long. But I feel like, and maybe I'm feeling too like they'll downplay it. Maybe it is something more serious, but it kind of downplayed. But to me, that's what I was checking, was around the end of July, beginning of August. There's some kind of episode that I just heard trigger. So I don't know. There's something.
Yes, and in my 2024 predictions, my team said that this would be happening with something to do with his heart, or but then when I'm stepping in now, I'm getting that connection to the brain issues as well. So I'm wondering, with let's put all the pieces of the puzzle together, Kim.
Right.
What's going on here? And I always felt that at the end of the day, he wasn't actually going to make it on the ticket because of whatever happens.
Yeah.
But that's as far as I can go with that. But
as you know, I've never seen him on the ticket, and yet here he is on the ticket. So what's that about?
I don't see
the ticket.
As far as on the when they go to voting day, that there will be someone else. They'll have to throw someone else's name on there, and I feel like they already have them in the wings, because they already know all this stuff is going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's secret to the people backstage, right? So,
Right.
yeah.
I just heard this is going to be related to drug use. Just FYI, and I don't know if it's like over years and years and years for entertainment purposes only. But I don't know if it's over years, or if it's a specific episode where it's like a not an overdose, but like because to me it's like to do with like the brain and something with the heart, and so I feel like maybe it comes out of that, or there's just like a step, a bridge too far kind of thing. But it doesn't feel like an overdose, because I get a very specific like vision and feeling when it's an overdose. It doesn't feel like that, but they're talking about drug related, or drug has to do with drug use. I think over probably, we know that, he used to do cocaine in the 80s, that, so many people did cocaine in the 80s, and then all of his Adderall use and cold medicine and whatever else he, McDonald's hamburgers, and, he's kind of just a big bag of, rotten stuff. So, I mean, and stuff he puts into his body. So that's,
So in that, as a loving group that we are, family, we can always, even no matter what you feel about the other human, always, if there's a health issue or whatever, we always like to send healing light to that for him. Asking us to rise above and out of kindness, even if, human to human. You all know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, so entertainment purposes only. And I do want to, since a lot of people are asking about this, Mimi Rose and a few other people asked about Andrea. Andrea's taking some time off of YouTube to focus on other important things to her right now. So, but thank you for asking and sending your love. All right. Where are we? All right. Nancy wants to know, will any of the horrible Congress people be held accountable for the January 6th fiasco?
Where is the DOJ?
Where's the DOJ on this? Well, I loved what I heard happen today in a House committee meeting when her last name is Crockett. I don't remember her first name. Slams Green today, calling her a racist.
Oh.
So, right, it was right there. So that was pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, sad that you have to call it out when other people should be calling it out. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Well, yeah, her own party should be calling it out, but
exactly.
This is where we are.
Where we're at. Okay. So, I do see people being held accountable for the January 6th fiasco. It looks like there's a plan in place here for this. Dirty money. All the people involved and connected to 45 and this whole fiasco. There's a plan in place, guys. So here's the dirty money and those connected to 45. I often get this card for 45. And it just kind of represents that materialistic, lusty, all earthbound feel to him. But you have the dirty money, that 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Those people connected to him, there is a plan in place to bring out the truth, and they will be held accountable. So you have the King of Swords and the Emperor coming in there.
I'm getting kind of the same thing, Debbie, but also kind of a mixed bag, because some people, it's kind of like what we're seeing with some people will decide to talk. Some people will decide to plead guilty and give evidence and be a witness and things. So we'll see. But I think like most people will be held accountable in the way we feel like they should be.
Mm-hmm.
And other people will be, there's other stuff, right? When you're decide, okay, I'm going to be corrupt now and I'm going to take money from whoever gives it to me. It's not like that's the only thing you do. You also are okay with like cheating on your taxes and like, taking money from weird places. And so I feel like there'll be people that are also held accountable for other stuff, because they just, that's the way. When people are corrupt, they're just corrupt, We saw it with like George Santos. Is that his name? Yeah. It wasn't just one thing. It was a bunch of stuff. It was a thing after thing after thing after thing. Once you feel like, okay, I'm in that camp now, I'm willing to do whatever. That's what you do. And so I feel like other people may be held accountable for other things, not necessarily for January 6th, but I do feel like there's this karmic role that seems to happen to all these people. Yeah.
Well, yes. And Michelle, hi, Michelle. She's asking, does the devil also represent drug addiction? Yes, it does. Ken.
Well, and also addiction to like people, like cult, I think of like, because I was going to say when you held that up, I'm like, that's the cult,
Yep.
They're all in for this guy for whatever reason, for, whatever they can get. And it's like a cult.
Okay. Some of these are, got that one. Got that one. That one. Oh, I see. Got that one. Some of them were put in twice, so okay. All right, so Heather. Hi, Heather. Was Barron happy his dad attended his graduation and made a spectacle? I missed this. I missed any news about this in regard to him going to the graduation. I believe it was today. Did he make a spectacle?
Well, and before this even happened, I got that like Barron, he didn't want his dad to go. Like he was okay if he didn't go, because not because he would upstage him, but because it would upstage everybody. It would be kind of like, it would be too attention, it would have too much attention on him and not everything else that was happening that was, quite frankly, more important than. So I felt like it was almost like a little bit embarrassing for him that it like his dad kind of overshadowed the event. And I felt like that was the reason he really didn't care if he went or not. It's kind of like,
getting chills.
I also don't feel like they're close. I don't feel like he's close to any of his kids. I feel like he's there when he has to be and when he wants something from them or when he wants to look like a dad. But I don't feel like he's close to any of his kids. So, yeah.
I was looking up, see if we could find. Oh, there's a picture. Okay.
All I can hear is like just get through it, just get through it. So I feel like there was something about just doing it, just going through it and just getting it done. But I feel like that's why, because he was there. It's like, okay, just get it done. Not enjoying it at all. It doesn't feel like he's enjoying it.
I exactly what I was feeling. Yeah, there they are. Yeah.
What is that hat?
That's the question.
Okay.
Incognito.
Guess it was Sunny
with your bodyguard.
guys. Or maybe it was the lookalike. Maybe it wasn't her.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, they definitely
did conspiracy theory.
They definitely did the close up on it.
Okay, that's an interesting. It looks like a man's, like an Amish hat for a man. How they have the Amish farmer hats. But wouldn't be my choice for a hat, a sun hat.
Interesting. And here is
somebody needs a hat like that.
I think you nailed it on him. I wish it wasn't blurry, but you could see his face. Look at him.
Yes.
It's like, oh my God, there they are.
Yeah. It's a little just uncomfortable, you know, and it does feel like, and I keep getting like, just get through it. Just get through it. So either somebody told him that, or he was telling himself that just get done, get it over with.
You know, the interesting thing is, for some reason, when I kind of stepped in with it, I felt a little bit of a drinky drink going on before. So I don't know if he was able to or what, but I felt like he might have had a little help. But entertainment purposes only, and he is 18. So
I was going to say, and he is a kid, so, and he's in, graduating high school, so that would be something normal about him.
Right. He's full of anxiety. Yeah, well, for sure. But I felt like there was a little help for him today. Maybe some of his
interesting
booked him something.
Well, this would be, if you're Barron and you're gonna drink, I think today would have been the day I would have chosen to.
Right. Anyway.
What state was that in? Do you know what state that was? Or
I don't know.
I just wondered if it was Florida or if it was New York or.
Yeah, Ian says he's a man now. He's 18. He's not a kid. Yeah, well, I mean, if he was in Ireland, Ian, that is drinking age, so it's all good. Florida, so it was in Florida.
I was in Florida. Okay.
Maybe Melania shared her flask with him. Yeah. All right. Okay, we have time for more. Oh, Cindy, good to see you. She says, I can't believe it's been a year since you and I went to Linda's thing in Sedona. Was it May? Oh, yeah. It was last May we went.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Wow, Cindy. All right. All right, Valeria, hello. And Steve Judd and Andrea both have picked up on bad energy during the RNC, July 15th through the 18th, and the DNC, 18th through the 22nd. Do you see what the energy is? So what do you see with the energy? Okay. For the RNC and the DNC, is there any shenanigans here? July 15th through the 18th.
God, the RNC feels like a mess.
A mess.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys. It is a shit show.
Yeah, it feels like, it feels a little bit like the Democrats when the whole Hillary Bernie thing happened back then. Very split and very kind of like unsure till the last minute, kind of on the edge of your seat kind of feeling. But it feels messy. It feels like there might even be fights that break out, which is kind of weird, but protesting, it just feels it feels messy to me, and chaotic energy, messy.
There's also some infighting is what I'm hearing with this as well. Let's take a look at the cards. Let's see it play out here.
Yeah, I mean, that's how like the Bernie Hillary thing was very contentious when it happened, and it feels like that. It feels like there's like at odds, but infighting, yeah, absolutely, that's right.
Okay, let's take a look at it. See, oh yeah, definitely struggle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what they're trying to kind of play out their Christian nationalism and their moral high ground. This is what they're trying to show, but it doesn't really come out like that. I mean, but you have the delusion going on. You have struggle, and struggle with authority. Who's in charge here?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah,
that's what we're looking at with the RNC.
And you have all these people too that are so they want attention. So you have all of these people vying for attention, right? The MTG and the Viveks and all these people that Matt Gaetz and all these people that want the most attention, that that alone could be very contentious and obnoxious and chaotic. And I also heard swan song. So I don't know if it may be the last time we see kind of the Republican Party in the way we always knew them. So there's something, I don't know, I just heard swan song. So there's something about an ending that happens at the
wow, I think now my head's getting tingly.
Okay, so yeah, there's an ending coming. Yeah.
So
the swan song. So yeah,
we have an RNC. It's going to be the new party. Nice. Okay, I'm looking at the DNC now, and I do see like protesters, like extremists, kind of trying to get their voice in there. Somehow, I don't know how it works, but there might be some, like pro-lifers or something of the such.
Well, there could be anti-vaxxers there. There could be, I mean, there's so many like factions of this.
Yeah.
Whatever, that
it's more metaphor, but they're extremist. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they come in strong, powerful. They're showing new beginnings. They understand their struggle and that there's still hard work to be done, but they come in pretty strong. And I'm not seeing there are those little conflicts that I was talking that me, these people coming in with that, but it kind of just more shows the the burden of the country and what we're up against.
Right.
But this is how they come in strong, very powerful, very sharp, powerful, balanced, and solid, practical.
Yes. And I feel like there's a kind of a the message is very unambiguous. It's very clear. Like we are, whatever they're going to do, fighting for democracy. That's
Right.
what we're doing here. It's kind of like it's bigger than them or something. Like it's a bigger cause. But I feel like it's very, like you said, very solidified, very united.
Yeah.
I do feel like there'd be some, and it could be like the Palestinian thing that, that issue, maybe there may be people that are protesting or stuff. Cause I feel like there's little like kind of, not upsets, but little skirmishes or something that happen that are kind of like, but it feels like on the whole, like you said, Debbie, they're very kind of, they're together, they're pretty unified, but to me, it's like, it's a bigger thing. It's a bigger than them. It's a bigger message. And that's what they're, trying to get across.
And they also are prepared for this type of disruption. They're going to be prepared for it. They'll know how to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are already at time, but I always like to end with a message for the family, something that we can take away for the week. Spiritual help here. Spiritual.
Yes.
So.
Okay, well, I got an interesting one. I'm using my Power of Surrender cards.
Oh, I love those cards.
These ones.
I haven't used those.
And it says, very interesting, surrender obsessive thinking. And it says, if you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring you clarity and even solve the problem. And there's plenty to obsess about right now.
And this kind of goes along right with that. Now, the purity of spirit, those who love can meet. But what that means for us literally is being aware of the quality of our thoughts, to allow those that are life enhancing, to facilitate understanding, healing, and harmony. So going along right with what you received, Kim, I think this is a good coupling here. So yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I'm gonna follow this advice, because there's plenty to think about and obsess on, and what if, my gosh, what if this or what's if that? So yeah, I love it.
Beautiful. All right, you guys, we love you. Be well and continue to connect in with each other. This community is amazing in the support of one another. So blessings to you all. And we will see you on our perspective channels, and we'll see you next time. And thank you, moderators. All right, here we go.
Thank you. Bye.